in Grenada. We supply fertilizers, herbicides, seedlings and nursery supplies, diesel water pumps, walk-behind tillers, organic and environmentally friendly agricultural inputs. We're serving you from 2 locations at Birch Grove and booth 34 at the Vendors Market in Grenville. Cost-effective agricultural solutions for all your needs. Visit Gittins Home and Garden Center for the best in everything agriculture. Call us on 409-2175 or 438-4337. Gittins Home and Garden Center, from your farm to your backyard.
The new Grenville Credit Union debit card has made online shopping easier than ever. Quick, secure, and hassle-free. Just tap, pay, and shop with confidence. Get yours today.
Life isn't one size fits all. Take me, for example. I like my suits well fitted. Getting a loan should feel like buying a suit. That's why financing at Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited is made to fit everyone. Introducing the Made to Fit loan, financing tailored to your needs. Get 100% financing to buy or build your home, purchase land, or get that brand new car. Plus, get up to $50,000 unsecured. And to make sure your loan fits, Co-op Bank is trimming your loan fees by 50% and covering 30% of your legal fees.
Oh yeah, nice.
Don't adjust your life to fit a loan. Get a loan that fits your life. Visit us online or stop by any retail banking unit today. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome home. Step inside. Immerse yourself in colors that come alive.
Color by Sissons.
Let your imagination run wild. Surround yourself in a world of color.
Color by Sissons.
Endless inspiration. Bold expression. Bold expression.
Color by Sissons. Sissons. Express your style with Color by Sissons.
This is Real Expressions Agriculture Thursday, only on 91.9 Real FM. From the soil to your soul, we're growing real. From the mountain to the sea, farmers working endlessly, planting pride in every row. Grenada's roots forever grow. Sunrise brings the harvest call. Banana, nutmeg, feeding all. We salute the ones who feed with every hand and every seed. We grow real, grow Grenada. Hearts of the land, real farmer flavor. Tune in, feel the nation rise. It's Thursday, we're proud and wise. On 91.9 Real FM style. It's Agriculture Thursday, Grenadian vibe. In the garden, in the field, real stories now revealed. Voices strong with tales to share of heritage, love and country care. Let the young and old unite, real expression shining bright. Agriculture is the way to build tomorrow from today. Roots grow real, grow Grenada. Part of the land, real farmer flavor. Tune in, feel the nation rise. It's Thursday, agri proud and wise. On 91.9 Real FM style. It's Agriculture Thursday, Grenadian vibe.
It is Agriculture Thursday, Grenadian vibe, and there's this saying, it's always better to be late than never at all. Special good morning to each and every one of you, wherever it is that you're listening from. The time is 8 a.m. on the dot, and this is Agriculture Thursday. I am just the driver for this morning's proceedings. I have in studio with me Dalton, and we should be joined by Dr. Antoine, and they would be steering the ship for this Agriculture Thursday. Just some housekeeping matters, and I know most people are looking forward to it. Just to give you a quick Update on the weather for today. The weather is expected to be generally fair with brief isolated morning and overnight showers. Winds will be easterly to southeasterly at 10 to 20 miles, becoming variable to calm at times. Today's maximum temperature is at 30.5 degrees Celsius. Tide will be low at 9 a.m. this morning and high tide would be at 3 p.m. Just some housekeeping matters for you. To repeat once again, the weather is expected to be generally fair with brief isolated morning and overnight showers. Good morning to you, Dalton. How are you?
Pleasant good morning to you. I'm fine. And how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Not too bad at all. Yep. I thought you weren't going to be here this morning, to be quite honest.
No.
Because my special surprise had some internet issues.
Okay.
So I thought because of that that you guys weren't going to make it. But I'm happy that you guys did, because something that the people look forward to on a Thursday morning. I haven't seen Dr. Antoine pop in as yet. I guess that he's organizing.
Yeah, you send the link?
I did. I did. I'm going to send it to him once again. And it's off once again. Yep.
Okay.
So we're just gonna keep an eye on that. What is the topic for this morning?
Well, Mr. Donald would have had two topics to discuss. Unfortunately, you say he is unable
he's
to
not
join in.
Able to join in this morning.
So I guess we'll have open air. But there is some exciting news as it relates to Koba. Very, very exciting. So I don't know if we could touch on that. I don't know what Dr. Antoine
would have
shine to say.
Okay, well, since we're waiting on him, then we can always just jump into the exciting news and see how things go from there.
Definitely.
Yeah. So what's new?
I don't know if you've been following the international arena. Recently, the President of the United States would have passed an executive order for the use of psychedelic compounds for mental health. And it's big. Since that he passed that executive order, a lot of international companies started calling me. So it's a pity that in 2022, when I brought back the plant to Grenada, and there was election thereafter, and the current government, when they had the first consultation, I would have went to the consultation with a plant and told them the importance of that plant, and it seems like that then felt on deaf ears, but I think moving forward, the past is the past, but moving forward, I think we as a nation, not just me, despite rediscovering the plant, but we as a nation could really utilize the plant to revive and redevelop the agriculture sector for the benefit of the farmers and the nation as a whole. Those compounds in the plant is now in the industry is a very huge industry. The industry, those compounds is valued in the range of 400 US per gram. So imagine a farmer producing just 1 pound of that material, and his salary from that 1 pound of that material would be in the range of 170 something thousand US dollars. So the challenge now St. Vincent is way ahead. They would have started the legislation in St. Vincent. Matter of fact, me and Dr. Thompson spoke, and he just came from England. And I would have sent him the video on the executive order and the biotech in the ministry in St. Vincent. He also had a chat with me, and they was in discussion over that same new venture. So, it's looking good. The foreign companies that I had discussion with previously in St. Vincent, about 4 of them reached out to me. Because even when they came to do marijuana, they was talking about ibogaine. That's a plant from Africa.
Okay.
And Trump would have mentioned it too when he did the executive order. And the companies wanted to bring in ibogaine to grow it in St. Vincent. Upon realizing that there is a plant in St. Vincent that is native to the region, that has so much different types of psychedelic compounds, they was even more excited, and so I think that too might even push the legislation in St. Vincent, because it already drafted. They would have sent it back to the drafter. The election and the change of government would have delayed some aspect of it, but seeing the potential now that is at hand, it would be daunting for us to move forward with great speed or great haste, And the tea, on the other hand, has started to crawl, basically. I know in our collective memory, we would have lost all the information on Koba unless you would have been studying anthropology or deep in historical studies, archaeology or those fields. Then you would have understand the history of the Koba plant. So I started with teas and started doing some tablets as well. We had some exciting lab results for those 2 products and exciting testimonies from over 70% of the users. So that started regenerating curiosity by the users wanting to know more about the plant. And I continued to share the history. And now, with those compounds and those success, I don't want to do it alone, It would be selfish of me. And I think the farming community, there is multiple scenarios in my head how we should go about. And it would be collectively, we could sit, negotiate, and formulate something that would be beneficial to all, basically, We made a lot of mistakes. We made mistakes in the nutmeg industry. We should look at those mistakes and going forward in creating a new industry with the Koba and do something that would be beneficial for all and the nation. So that is my, gift to the development of agriculture, basically, that I want to do going forward. And Trump opened the door for us. I mean, it is said that, Trump have done a lot of reckless things, but this, I was looking at a YouTube commentator, and he said that's the best thing Trump ever do in the whole career. So, those are the exciting news that it relates to the Koba, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
We are still awaiting
Dr. Antoine.
Dr. Antoine. We may need to see what's happening with him. So, guys, I'm going to take a quick commercial break just to check on Dr. Antoine, make sure all is well. And we'll be right back with you guys for Agriculture Thursday.
The new Granville Credit Union debit card has made online shopping easier than ever. Quick, secure, and hassle-free. Just tap, pay, and shop with confidence. Get yours today.
Attention all nutmeg growers. The Grenada Cooperative Nutmeg Association advises that in accordance with Sections 25 and 27 of the Nutmeg Industry Ordinance, the biannual statutory general meeting will be held on Thursday, May 28, 2026 at the GCNA Beaulieu Complex, commencing at 9 a.m. In preparation for this meeting, area meetings will be held in all parishes starting at 3 p.m. In St. Andrew on Tuesday, May 5th at the Granville Curing Station. St. David, your turn will be on Wednesday, May 6th at the Bellevue Community Center. Then the meeting move on to St. Mark on Thursday, May 7th at the Victoria Receiving Station and St. Patrick on Tuesday, May 12th at the Marley Receiving Station. St. George meeting will be held on Wednesday, May 13th at the George Brazen House of Nutmeg in Beaulieu. And the final meeting will be held in St. John on Thursday, May 14th at the Guelph Processing Station. The agenda for the general meeting includes adoption of the agenda, minutes of the previous meeting, matters arising, reports of the Nutmeg Board, unaudited financial statements for the period ending December 31st, 2025, election of 6 board members, and general business. All growers are required to attend the parish meeting and must present their nutmeg producer identification card for verification of membership. Growers are reminded that they are registered in the parish where their lands are situated.
Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited is celebrating 15 years of its Pump It Up Family Fun Walk. Join us on the Sister Ad of Carriacou on April 19th from the Alexis Food Stores at 3:30 p.m. and mainland Grenada on May 3rd from the SSU Camp in Point Salines at 3:30 p.m. as we celebrate 15 years of saying yes to family, fitness, and fun. Register now. Get ready to pump it up with us. Individual packages are $25 and groups of 3 or more are $20 per package while stocks last. All proceeds will go to the Grenada Food and Nutrition Council. For more information, visit our website at grenadacoopbank.com or any of our retail banking units.
I eating at Scorpions then. I drinking at Scorpions then. I chilling at Scorpions then. Together at Scorpions then. I singing at Scorpions then. I dancing at Scorpions then. I jamming at Scorpions then. Forever at Scorpions then. 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 Come down to Scorpions den. Karaoke night at my day St. Patrick. Sunday the 10th of May, Queen Sky has free cocktails for the first 10 mothers. We hope to see you soon.
In Grenada, we supply fertilizers, herbicides, seedlings and nursery supplies, diesel water pumps, walk behind tillers, organic and environmentally friendly agricultural inputs. We're serving you from 2 locations at Birch Grove and booth 34 at the Vendors Market in Grenville. Cost-effective agricultural solutions for all your needs. Visit Gittins Home and Garden Center for the best in everything agriculture. Call us on 409-2175 or 438-4337. Gittins Home and Garden Center, from your farm to your backyard.
The new Granville Credit Union debit card has made online shopping easier than ever. Quick, secure, and hassle-free. Just tap, pay, and shop with confidence. Get yours today.
Life isn't one size fits all. Take me, for example. I like my suits well fitted. Getting a loan should feel like buying a suit. That's why financing at Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited is made to fit everyone. Introducing the Made to Fit loan, financing tailored to your needs. Get 100% financing to buy or build your home, purchase land, or get that brand new car. Plus, get up to $50,000 unsecured. And to make sure your loan fits, Co-op Bank is trimming your loan fees by 50% and covering 30% of your legal fees.
Oh yeah, nice.
Don't adjust your life to fit a loan. Get a loan that fits your life. Visit us online or stop by any retail banking unit today. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome home. Step inside. Immerse yourself in colors that come alive.
Color by Sissons.
Let your imagination run wild. Surround yourself in a world of color.
Color by Sissons.
Endless inspiration. Bold expression. Bold expression.
Color by Sissons. Sissons. Express your style with Color by Sissons.
This is Real Expressions Agriculture Thursday, only on 91.9 Real FM. From the soil to your soul, we growing real. From the mountain to the sea, farmers working endlessly, planting pride in every row. Grenada's roots forever grow. Sunrise brings the harvest call. Banana, nutmeg, feeding all. We salute the ones who feed with every hand and every seed. We grow real, grow Grenada. Hearts of the land, real farmer flavor. Tune in, feel the nation rise. It's Thursday, we're proud and wise. On 91.9 Real FM style. It's Agriculture Thursday, Grenadian vibe. In the garden, in the field, real stories now revealed. Voices strong with tales to share of heritage, love, and country care. Let the young and old unite, real expression shining bright. Agriculture is the way to build tomorrow from today. We grow real, grow Grenada. Part of the land, real farmer flavor. Tune in, feel the nation rise. It's Thursday, agri proud and wise. On 91.9 Real FM style. It's Agriculture Thursday, Grenadian vibe. Soil to soul, we strong like lava. On the air, our stories thrive. Agriculture keeps us alive. Real FM, where the roots go deep. Agriculture Thursday, we sow and reap.
And we are back, guys. It's Agriculture Thursday. And of course, it's a bit late, but like I said earlier, it's better to be late than never at all. In studios with me, I have Mr. Dalton, who, of course, is an expert in the Koba plant. And it's an interesting plant. You know, while we took that commercial break, I did a little research. So now I'm a bit intrigued to ask some questions as it relates to that plant. But when you hear Koba, you would think like, okay, it's something yucky, something that I would not want to drink, something that I probably need to stay away from, even though it's really good for me. But Mr. Dalton, what exactly is Koba and where does it really originate from?
The Koba tree, indigenously known as the Cohiba tree. The it was the center of our Caribbean civilization with the indigenous community in the Caribbean. So throughout the Caribbean and the Americas, certain part of the Americas, that plant was the medicinal plant, and it was the religious plant. So the plant was the center of the religious practice and rituals, and it was the center of the medicine.
Okay.
And on the arrival of the Europeans in 1492, matter of fact, on the first voyage, the experience that the European took back to Spain, they didn't accept those narratives. So they sent, on the second voyage, they sent a gentleman by the name of Roman Payne. He was a priest, and he was the first one to document the whole ritual of the Koba. And immediately, that plant was number one blasphemy, because, I mean, the indigenous community, they told them that they use it to communicate with God.
Oh.
So how you could use a plant to communicate with God, you know? So the plant became public enemy number one. And since that time up to, well, we have lost it in our collective memory, as I said. Only if you're into anthropology, archaeology, then you would come across the plant and its use and its function. So for the last 300+ years, archaeologists and a lot of people tell you that in the Caribbean here, we would have lost it entirely. You know, Dr. Guido Marcelin would have done a book in 98, I think it was published, on all the plants in Grenada. They would have marked it as not found, not seen as well. And but I reconstructing the heritage village in La Poterie and understanding the plant and its importance to the 16th century culture, I asked my ancestors, you have to allow me to get that plant. I have to have that plant in Grenada, you know. I have to have it in the village. You know, it's a must, you know. Me and Dr. Pitija, who was a leading botanist, archaeologist, we would have looked for it as well for 2 years. We've been looking for it. We never rediscovered it. And by some miracle, 7 years ago, and like everything I do happened in 7 years.
Oh, okay.
So I planned things for 7 years span. 7 years ago, 2019, February, I was doing, in St. Vincent, I was involved with the marijuana industry. I was surveying some lands our family have for a marijuana project. And the land was abandoned for years. Matter of fact, I planned to start working the land, and it never came about because a lot of land, over 100 acres.
Okay.
And in surveying the land, I discovered a cave. I'm a business guy, partner of mine. I discovered the cave. When I look at the roof of the cave, I saw a sign of smoke. Like the occupant had fire in the cave, so you would see the evidence of the smoke at the roof of the cave.
Right.
So I just tell the guy, say, you know what, let us go.
Danger, but let's go.
No, you know, because so we went, and I went home. But I didn't sleep that night. I decided, you know, let me pack my bag first thing in the morning, and I'm going on the farm by myself, go to the cave. So I went back by myself, gone to the cave, and I started digging, and I started finding all the artifacts. And I find a particular artifact, and I say, all right, that's enough. That artifact could tie the whole heritage on the farm, and we're going to grow marijuana. It has a whole narrative, and because it was a pipe, an ancient pipe.
Okay.
And I decided that's enough. I would do some official dig thereafter. So I started to hike up to the ridge, because there's a high ridge.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, after I do the measurement, the ridge is over 2,000 feet high. So I went up to the ridge, and the first attempt in going to the ridge, I was unable to climb in that area. And there was a lot of jep. I don't know, you know what is jep? The wasp?
Yeah.
And they attacked me. So I just scaled back down the ridge. And then you have Guti in St. Vincent, so I followed the Guti track and I went right on top the ridge. And when I reach up there, I look at my time and I say, it's 12 o'clock, let me have a snack. So I sat down and I leaned back against a tree. And that tree tell me, don't lean, so I jump up. And I wasn't scared, I didn't run, but I jump up and I look back at the tree. When I look back at the tree, instantly, something just come over me and said, Dalton, that is the Koba tree. I could not have seen the top of the tree. So I climbed a next tree to look at the top. And it was dry season, so it hardly have any leaves. But I confirmed in myself that this is the Koba tree. So I took pictures, sent it for Dr. Petishaw, sent it for the university in Holland. I said, Dalton, boy, them pictures, you need to take better pictures, but it looking like the Koba. Okay. So I did take better pictures, and then when Dr. Petisha finally confirmed, he said, "Hey, Dalton, that is the Koba tree." So, and I'm not scared, but immediately I got scared because here is a plant that we thought was extinct. It was eradicated by then the colonists, and that plant also caused the first revolution in Grenada.
Really?
In 1657, the first insurrection, when the French, among themselves, they killed the governor on the fort in St. George's. It's 25th of October, so you see how October correlates with we getting rid of our leaders. Yes. And so I started to wonder, Lord, what would happen? Would the government accept this thing? Because, they have those psychoactive compounds in the plant that is practically illegal. So, I was very concerned. And I remember discussing it with a lawyer. And we say, well, the government may be open, you never know. And bam, there was this investor in the company that I was involved in, and he's a astrophysicist. So he came, and he was involved in psychedelics. And so he was so excited, and he read about that particular tree, and a lot of scientists was looking for it, and they could not find it, and so he was extremely excited. And from there, it was all the way up in St. Vincent as relating to the government starting to look into, creating a legislation so that the compound could be used for, say, mental health. And because there's a lot of research that was done, both by John Hopkins Medicine. As a matter of fact, they was the first organization to receive a federal grant in America to do some of those research. And New York University, Birmingham University, Johnson & Johnson. So there's a few companies that have been doing those research, and they would have had over 60% success rate. Well, in the interview with Trump, I heard Trump say, he like to exaggerate, but Trump said 80 to 90% success rate. He said, I want to have some of this. Could I try it now? Trump made it exciting. But and
so do you have it on island? No?
Yeah, I have it on island.
So you plant it?
Yeah, okay. Right after, getting to Grenada was when after came the volcano in St. Vincent.
Yes.
And they were saying that volcano would be like a doomsday volcano.
Right.
And the whole of St. Vincent was covered in ash.
Yeah.
So I decided, a friend of mine coming from Trinidad, he said, "They are coming for you, Okay, you have a boat." He said, "They are coming for you." I said, "Nah, I want to watch it still." So I moved. The company had a house in Beckway. Okay. So I decided, okay, you know what? I would take my family to Beckway. Okay. And if it gets bad in Beckway, then we'll come to Grenada. So I took some of the plants with me to Beckway. Okay. And I say, I need to have this plant sent to Grenada. And fortunately, a boat came up with stuff. I went and talked to the captain. The captain said, "Nah, can't do that." And then a trawler came, I talked to the guy, and he from Petit Martinique. I sent a plant with him. So I said, good, at least if St. Vincent is totally wiped out, we have the plant.
Petit Martinique.
You know? Yeah. And then a schoolmate of mine with a trawler came up, and I spoke with her. I was so excited, you know. We knew each other from school.
Right.
And I gave him some plants, and he brought it down for me. And that is how the first set of plants. I say, if anything do happen, still we do have the plant in Grenada.
Yeah.
You know. And then when I actually came, I came with seeds. And I did propagation immediately.
Right.
And so I planted. So that was like 3.5 years ago. I would have planted the first plant in Grenada. And they are now blooming.
Oh, nice.
And after the volcano, that is when all the cohoba tree, that was the first time observing the cohoba tree in bloom. And the entire tree was filled with flower. Just like the leaves, it was replaced with pure flower. And it's a pearl white flower. So it was really beautiful. You could identify it for miles in the forest, that tree.
Nice.
You know, and so those were the exciting rediscovery of the plant and the history. So both in St. Vincent and Grenada, the historical context is big for the plant because the oldest known cohoba artifacts was discovered in St. Vincent. And that's a 4,000-year-old artifact. So the origination of the plant, we may say the Caribbean is volcanic island. And starting from a volcanic island, there is no native plant. But nativity comes after a period in time. But the cohoba artifacts that is discovered in St. Vincent, which is a 4,000-year-old artifact, you could see how old that culture of the cohoba was to the Caribbean region. In Grenada, matter of fact, only in St. Vincent, Dominican Republic, and Haiti you would have find artifacts of the cohoba.
Okay.
But only last year, how exciting that a cohoba pipe was discovered here in Grenada, in La Poterie.
Oh, wow.
You know, it's really a nice piece. It's in the shape of an animal. The one from in St. Vincent, it's also an animal. It's a monkey with a parrot on top of the monkey. You know, with Grenada now, when that governor, Francois Dubois, he decided he wanted to try the cohoba.
Okay.
So he decided to come in La Poterie and take part in this ceremony. When he came to La Poterie, matter of fact, he told the priest, he said, look, he's going for Chief Ward. They branded Chief Ward as the most, or the sorcerer, the most dangerous sorcerer. And so he's going to Chief Ward for Chief Ward to turn him into the devil with the use of the cohoba. And he came to La Poterie, but on his way back to St. George's, the insurrection took place and they killed him.
Oh my.
They didn't have in this Catholic or the Christian faith, didn't have in their governor taking part in the savages' spiritual rituals. So they execute him on the 4th, the 25th of October.
Somebody's asking, so it's a big tree.
Yeah,
based on what you described it.
It's leguminous, but it's big. And the plant is also one of the best fixing nitrogen plant. You know, it's also they also call it the calcium plant because it produces a lot of calcium as well.
Okay.
So that plant, and looking back at the historical texts and the confusion of interpretation by the European, we could see why we now call the lignum vitis tree of life. But the lignum vitis wood, which is one of the hardest wood known to man, that is what they would have used to do the ceremonial bowl.
Okay.
And up to today, from all these hundreds of years, there is a ceremonial bowl.
Okay.
Yeah, that survive all those centuries. You know, made from wood as a result of being the lignum vitis. You know, there's a lignum vitis tree in Carrico which is big, and that tree is more than 2,000 years old. And we would know that because of the amount of growth per year that tree takes to grow. you know, and to reach at the size to carve it to make the bowl. Researchers conclude that the tree that they used to make that bowl would have at least old, maybe 2,000 years old.
Oh wow!
You know, so and they call the Koba, which they use both for the spiritual and the medicine. On the medicinal side now, when you're sick and you go to the shaman would use that particular plant, but he'll mix it with other plants based on your complaint and give it to you.
Okay.
And somebody else may come with a different complaint, he use the Koba and he mix it with other herbs and he give it to you.
Okay.
So that is how it was used generally, and generally it was used throughout. So not on the psychoactive side, but on the medicine side.
Medicinal. Okay.
And in conclusion to those behavior, you know, I conclude in that serotonin is one of the compounds in the plant. And as a result of the serotonin compounds and the other psychedelic that affect serotonin as well, that is why they had that communal society.
Okay.
And you know, to live in communalism, love had to be the center. So the plant is actually that love plant.
Okay.
Because when they have to go to war, there is a different plant that they use to go to war.
Okay.
So if you're using Koba every day, you can't fight because you have too much of love. But when you need to fight and get vexed, there is that particular plant you use to go and fight, you know. So those are some of the interesting historical context of the Koba.
We have Dr. Antoine with us. Good morning, Dr. Antoine.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. And yourself? Good morning, Doctor. Good morning, fellow audience in there.
I'm doing great. I'm learning a lot. I'm doing Koba work this morning, and I'm very, very intrigued by that that plant.
Well, I guess most Canadians, including myself and yourself, would be intrigued with Doctor's story, which is very fascinating. Yes, I agree. So, yeah, I've been listening. I'm just listening to Doctor's story because I'm curious to know what are the next steps for him as regards to plant, its utilization, and how he thinks it might benefit the Grenada or the Caribbean.
Well, in answering those questions, I recently had, previous to the executive order that Trump would have passed, I would have had a meeting with the PS and the head of the forestry department, and I would have discussed with them the potential. I'm about to embark on a pilot project where I want to plant about 20 acres currently. But the new big deal with what Trump has created is like a rush, what they call the gold rush. A lot of the companies now want to rush into, and the companies that was there lingering in on the edge before, they now decide to go in fully with creating different psychedelic compounds, and the Koba being one of the center of those plants, there is great opportunity. An international banker would have reached out to me, and other companies would have reached out to me already. But I think we need to sit with government and really think of creating an industry so that farmers could benefit and we could benefit throughout, you know, as a country, and not just me as an individual. So that's my aim. I may be naive, I don't know. But with those naivety, I remember a few years ago, in 2026, not 2026, in 2016, I did an interview with a gentleman and he asked me, you know, what pushed me to doing what I'm doing? And I say, you know, when I came back to La Poterie was one of the poorest community in Grenada. And all my aim and desire was to find a solution to help eradicate that poverty. And I told him I think I will. And I think the Koba is that up to this year, 7 years ago, I did make a presentation in in a community in St. Vincent called Greg's. And Greg's is this sister village to La Poutrie. And I told them this year, that the Koba is our reparation, basically, and the stage has set internationally now for that to happen. And collectively, we do the right thing, So, but I will continue to do what I'm doing as it relates to doing those plots, 20 acres plus, and as much land as I could get. And while we form legislation and form the way to go in really creating that industry for everybody benefit. Because, the success of the tea with the testimonies of people, it's, it's really, really exciting on that level. And looking at those compounds, those phytochemicals, and those compounds in the plant, really understand why our ancestors had that particular plant as the center of their civilization. So science now showing why, with those compounds, because those are the same compounds that pharmaceutical companies use to make practically every medicine, So, yeah. So with your knowledge, my intuition, and we could go a very long way with this. 1,000 years from now, the future will definitely be benefiting from that.
And so I assume you think you commercialize it.
Huh?
I assume you think.
I'm not hearing
It's
clearly.
breaking up a bit.
Yeah.
Dr. Antoine, we're getting you a bit muffled. But I think your question was whether he's thinking about commercializing the product.
Yeah, because in order to benefit from it, it must be turned into an industry.
Definitely.
And that industry would require technical and scientific input. It will also require financial input, as well as it will require some industrial and government legislative input. So there are several points covered. So I'm curious to know moving forward on that. You don't have to repeat, of course.
Oh, he said
I'm not hearing Doc clearly.
He said he's looking forward to find out how you plan to go about the commercializing of the product.
Well, I'll already start to commercialize the teas. I did in St. Vincent. I was there for the Heroes Day celebration. I did a exhibition. They had a bush tea festival in the thing, so I did an exhibition with the Koba, and that was really exciting. And there was this shaman lady from England, and when she heard the history of the Koba, she wanted to do the psychedelic aspect of it. So I have done 3 psychedelic rituals in St. Vincent. The first one with the scientists, and I remember doing it. There is multiple psychedelic compound in the plant, so I was very cautious. There was this young doctor that went with me, and we went in the Cayo River in a place up in Sandy Bay area, on a huge stone in the river, and with the psychedelic ritual there, the use of the psychedelic compound there. And this year, the first time I've seen in years, each of the Koba tree, they bear like 1 million pods. They have so much Koba they bear this year. So I gathered a lot of seeds. So I prepared some of the snuff, what we call it, the Koba snuff, and I did the psychedelic ritual with that lady, and she wrote her testimony. It was really exciting the way she would have experienced that psychedelic thing. So those compounds in St. Vincent, I can have a lot of raw material that could be processed into those different compounds, awaiting. And I was awaiting that particular date for that to happen, So it's all about now getting into the lab, doing the processing of the final compounds, whether you want to process the serotonin compound, whether you want to process the buffer compound or the DMT, the DMT5-MO. It's now that process, would we as an industry just process the semi-processed material and sell it to the pharmaceutical company directly? All those are things on the table that need to be discussed and see where we go, But we may not be selling at the final price where it is $400 per gram, but at least it would be hundreds of dollars per gram. EC or a high-end price program, and we know that there is 12% based on the initial lab result that I would have initiated before. There is over 12% of the compound in the material, so it's the numbers is really exciting. Yes, I always from day one always wanted the government to be involved in some way or fashion, Although I would have also formulate companies in case, because it's hard sometimes to sell a vision. And, Dalton seems to be an ordinary guy.
Yeah.
What's wrong with him? You think, So, this, and I don't waste time into trying to convince people into doing things. Basically, I go do it myself, But I think there is a lot of interest internationally, and interest that wants to come and work in the region. But yet, so we have to be very careful as it relates to those aspects of things. But I would, from my ancestry heritage, and the history, understanding the history of the plant and the struggle the plant been through and the benefit now. Like in St. Vincent, me and the National Trust was discussing how we could use the plant to create the area into a World Heritage site, because that plant now would benefit. The percentage of mental health problem in the world is huge. So imagine you have a historical plant with huge historical context now that could benefit humanity at that level. The plant would automatically become and able to give that World Heritage status. Even here in Grenada, the historical context of the plant and the benefit. It's a number one contender for a World Heritage status here in Grenada as well.
It is.
So it's untold benefit. There is numerous benefits, and I hope government really gets serious. I hope the minds in the different positions start getting creative, and we definitely work together and build something.
Yeah.
Do you have mechanisms in place to protect your short-term in that product? Because I'm very leery of vultures.
I understand.
Vultures and taking your product, taking it to the lab, and then working towards doing the synthetic alternative to the natural product. And that's something that we have serious concern if you want to develop the enterprise. And so here for it is where you need some legal and state government assistance to ensure that your intellectual idea and protection of your proprietary rights and intellectual property development.
As it relates to that, the plant, there was two, and that is why I was sort of hesitant for a lot of things in St. Vincent. I can remember a company came, the authority introduced me to the company, and they was offering or dangling the carrot, and I decided no, because St. Vincent was not part at the time and still is not signed on to the Nagoya Protocol. There is a treaty that was recently signed where that treaty seeks to protect the use and right of plants to the indigenous community. And that is why I started, in the recreation of the 16th century heritage village, and that is where the heritage village is currently responsible for the plant, basically. And on that basis, company may come and they think they could steal it and want to utilize it, but we have case to reference where they went in India, they took the turmeric, they took other plants from India, and they went and make and did create compounds, and then have to pay and compensate the indigenous community because that the knowledge and the use of the plant come from there. And like, for instance, the tea that I have created, I use a lot of the indigenous knowledge to create that tea. As a result, that we have so much high success. And I was discussing something like Dr. Food, a leading chemist in Trinidad. And he would have shared experience with me where companies, you may hear a plant has a particular substance, and you take that plant. But when you actually do the chemistry, you may not find those compounds, and they are baffled as to why, Yeah. But the indigenous person know as to what to do, when to do, how to do, so that those things remain with the plant and the use, And those are some of the indigenous knowledge that I have. So, I mean, there's a little secret that, I tend to keep. So, yes, we'd always find everybody wants to take what you have. Our company already called me and telling me about acquisition, So those are the challenges, I'm aware of it. I'm naive on a lot of things, but not totally naive, And my whole aim is for the development of the community where I come from, La Poterie, and Grenada as a whole, basically, and the Caribbean, St. Vincent. I rediscovered the plant in St. Vincent. It's now in Grenada. That plant is what, we talk about zone of peace, that plant is what had the Caribbean as zone of peace, When the French signed the treaty with the Kalinagos, every Carib territory in the region from mainland South America came to La Poterie to Grenada to sign and ratify the treaty. When they was having the celebration prior to the French colonizing, every territory in the Caribbean came to La Poterie to have those celebrations and those Koba road trials. So it's not, I'm just the instrument of the rediscovery and have my, I may have a particular pattern where I want it to go. But we have to collectively work in defending it. It is ours, it's our heritage, and we now could benefit internationally from it. So I know greed might step in. Greed would always step in, and we had to find ways and means to protect it from those greeds that would come as vultures. So I have no fear over who would want to come and steal, and the trend now in medicine is natural and not synthetics, So yes, they go create a lot of synthetics or want to create a lot of synthetics. But we have to have strong legislation that with the already existing treaties and protocols that we sign that gives that cover internationally. There's an organization that Dr. Thompson would have introduced me to. The head of that is the lady is from Holland. I would have met her briefly, and they help fight international matters as it relates to those tradition and heritage with plants and those big pharma. So there is the opportunity to help protect, So on that instance, I think we do what it is needed to be done, and the vultures, the pocket might be deep, but then they realize they can't make it. They just give up. That's my naivety in terms of seeing the bigger picture.
All right. And I assume you have a attorney's line.
Huh?
I assume you have attorneys lined up to assist the protection of the rights of the product.
Well, as I say, the Nagoya Protocol and those treaties that our country signed, most of the countries in the world signed, that in itself is a form of protection.
Well, it's one, but it won't provide protection. I think we could discuss some more, so we're not on air in the details. I think while the product itself holds significant potential monetary and importance, medicinal importance, I think the commercial business aspect of it is something that needs to be developed and to ensure the realization of the potential financial benefits. So here we may have to see that discussion. And that needs to be spoken aggressively, because one of the things you find is that multinational corporations may not be aware at this moment. The power and resources frequently allow to move quickly in acquiring, as you referred to earlier, ideas like yours, and they don't necessarily have to come with quickly. They can always come to the back door and pursue the process, at which time you realize you're behind. So yeah, it's something we do in terms of protecting the proprietary ideas and potential intellectual property aspects to that product.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. At this point,
what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a quick break because we have news coming up at 9, and then we'll come back there. There are two things that were mentioned in the comments, so we'll touch on that, and I think I have a question as it relates to exploring the benefits of the plant. Okay. Yeah. So let's take a break. Dr. Antoine, stay with us, and we'll be back. We'll be back shortly.
All right, thank you.
Where customers expect quality, M&N Hardware Limited is a leader in locally manufactured aluminum windows, doors, roofing, and guttering. Our manufacturing division is efficient, flexible, and will always go the extra mile to surpass customer expectations. If you need security, sash, casement, or projected windows, we're able to do it. Our security and heavy-duty doors are state-of-the-art and can be customized specifically for you. Using innovative coating technologies and protective film, our roofing and guttering is weather-resistant, providing outstanding color retention for many years. Available in 24 and 26 gauge and a variety of color options. We are the leading company, a family that is proving to customers they can have their dream products. M&N Hardware Limited. Foundation to roof, let's build together.
Angel's Beauty Salon and Bar.
Triple N. Informative, entertaining, and first. Every hour on the hour.
Welcome to the latest update of news as produced by Triple N. We'll have the details when we return.
In an industry where customers expect quality, M&N Hardware Limited is a leader in locally manufactured aluminum windows, doors, roofing, and guttering. Our manufacturing division is efficient, flexible, and will always go the extra mile to surpass customer expectations. If you need security, sash, casement, or projected windows, we're able to do it. Our security and heavy-duty doors are state-of-the-art and can be customized specifically for you. Using innovative coating technologies and protective film, our roofing and guttering is weather-resistant, providing outstanding color retention for many years. Available in 24 and 26 gauge and a variety of color options. We are the leading company, a family that is proving to customers they can have their dream products. M&N Hardware Limited. Foundation to roof, let's build together.
Hello and welcome back. I am your presenter, Peter Joseph. The Division of Culture Grenada within the Ministry of Tourism, Creative Economy, and Culture Grenada has announced the launch of the Ms. Lauren Ramtani Award for Excellence in the Performing Arts. The announcement was made during the festival's official media launch at the Karani James Athletic Stadium in the region, in Trinidad and Tobago. The Telecommunications Authority of Trinidad and Tobago is again reminding local cable providers that they must secure intellectual property rights if they wish to continue carrying U.S. free-to-air television stations. In its latest advisory, the authority says any provider that fails to obtain the required rights for NBC by April 30th will be obligated to remove the channel from its lineup. This development follows the removal of Fox in December 2025 after similar licensing requirements were not met. A phased compliance timeline has also been issued, with deadlines set for ABC on August 31st and CBS on December 30th this year. The authority warns that continued non-compliance could have wider consequences, including negative impacts on Trinidad and Tobago's international trade relations and partnerships. TATT says it will continue monitoring providers to ensure adherence to intellectual property obligations. And in sports, Afghan women footballers set for historic return to international football.
FIFA's decision to amend its governance regulations means Afghan women players, most of them scattered across Australia, Europe, the United States and the Middle East, following the Taliban's return to power, can now represent their country in official matches. The change, approved at the FIFA Council meeting in Vancouver, allows teams to be registered under exceptional circumstances where players are blocked from competing through no fault of their own. Former Afghanistan captain Khalida Popal welcomed the move, saying the team will become a symbol of resilience. The squad is expected to return to action in June, with regional selection camps already underway in England and Australia. While they won't be eligible for the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup, they could compete in qualifying for the LA 2028 Olympics.
This ends the latest news update as produced by Triple N. Thanking you for joining us.
Triple N. Informative, entertaining, and first. Every hour on the hour.
You asked for it and you got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow is now offering FastPay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? FastPay will send it to your email immediately. Use FastPay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay. Flow is keeping you connected.
There is a difference between shopping and shopping well. For nearly 45 years, Calico has understood that difference. Because great shopping is not just about shelves, it's about standards. A place that feels safe, comfortable, and easy to enjoy. At Calico, quality is not hoped for, it is expected. More than a supermarket, Calico is your wholesale partner, your source for dependable essentials. Families trust the name, businesses rely on the consistency, communities recognize the standard. And the best part? Value that is always practical, prices that are always fair, and deals that are always waiting for you. Because shopping should never feel uncertain, it should feel assured. This is confidence, this is a legacy, this is Calico. Calico, your one-stop shop.
In Grenada, we supply fertilizers, herbicides, seedlings and nursery supplies, diesel water pumps, walk behind tillers, organic and environmentally friendly agricultural inputs. We're serving you from 2 locations at Birch Grove and booth 34 at the Vendors Market in Grenville. Cost-effective agricultural solutions for all your needs. Visit Gittins Home and Garden Center for the best in everything agriculture. Call us on 409-2175 or 438-4337. Gittins Home and Garden Center, from your farm to your backyard.
The new Grenville Credit Union debit card has made online shopping easier than ever. Quick, secure, and hassle-free. Just tap, pay, and shop with confidence. Get yours today.
This is Real Expressions Agriculture Thursday, only on 91.9 Real FM. From the soil to your soul, we're growing real. From the mountain to the sea, farmers working endlessly, planting pride in every row. Grenada's roots forever grow. Sunrise brings the harvest call, banana, nutmeg, feeding all. We salute the ones who feed with every hand and every seed. We grow real, grow Grenada, heart of the land, real farmer flavor. Tune in, feel the nation rise. It's Thursday, we're proud and wise. On 91.9 Real FM style. It's Agriculture Thursday, Grenadian vibe. In the garden, in the field, real stories now.
And we are back, guys, with Agriculture Thursday. This morning we're speaking with Dr. Antoine and Dalton, and the topic for today is the Koba plant. Very interesting plant. Before we took our news break, there was some comments while you guys were discussing, and one of them was, do you have any knowledge of any involvement of the University of the West Indies or any other agricultural institutions in CARICOM that you probably would have reached out, discussed the plant with in that regard?
In the last week, cannabis in St. Vincent, there was this gentleman originally from Dominica, but he lives in Jamaica. He's a professor at the University of the West Indies in Jamaica. We had a discussion, matter of fact, one of the doctor from St. Vincent in the industry that would have introduced me to him. But as to have the knowledge and the research before, the University of the West Indies never did. I would also talk with Dr. Ford. I think Dr. Ford would tell me he was one of the leading professor in chemistry in Trinidad campus. But there, as I say, the plant, or we thought the plant was extinct for this number of years.
Right.
So hence the limited research regionally on the plant itself.
On the plant, okay.
Yeah.
You discovered it in St. Vincent.
Mm-hmm.
You brought it here to Grenada. Do you know of any other Caribbean islands that has the plant or potentially may have it just undiscovered for now?
Well, the entire region had it, so it's a possibility.
Okay.
So, as as I analyzing the uniqueness as to where I discover it and why, it holds a lot of importance, basically. So there is a possibility, or maybe there is not a possibility.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Question. How do you think we should balance the respect for the indigenous traditions with the modern usage now?
And I think here is where the poetry 16th century Kalinabo village comes in, you know, and from that perspective, with the village and adhering to the historical context and the culture, you know, those reverence should be given, and hopefully that the plant will become our national heritage plant, you know, so it's fully protected as heritage and culture.
Okay. So you spoke about some of the wonderful reviews that you've gotten as it relates to persons doing the tea, and I think it's the capsule that you have. What are the main health benefits you would say that persons can benefit from based off of what you're doing, your aspect of the utilization of the plant? It's a lot.
Yeah. You know, I remember on the label there is a few different benefits that I would have outlined.
Okay.
And I've been having challenge with basically the Bureau standards, both in Grenada and in St. Vincent. You know, and they would term it as claims. But then my argument is, okay, there is historical text that is given to see why and how they was used, you know. There is archaeological evidence as to say, well, that is conformed with the historical text. And now there is tests from the lab that prove that X compound is in the plant and X compound is in the tea. And so if on the pharmaceutical side and the science side, you are saying that those said compounds is the one responsible for this, and those said compounds are the one responsible for that, you know, where is the argument lies? But now you have testimonies, so, and the testimony is far reaching and wide. So there's a lady, matter of fact, only a week ago, there's a gentleman, Mr. Alexander. I give him a sample. And 2 days after he called me, he said, "Doctor, boy," he said, "I want to bring 2 packets of tea when you're coming for me." You know? And I brought it for him, and he gave me his experience. He said, "My pressure and sugar been up for more than 20-something years."
Oh, wow.
And he used the tea, and both his pressure and his sugar gone.
Wow.
And that is Kuchim Alexander that gave me his testimony. And there is that lady too, and multiple ladies now that have fibroids. I tell them, I say, look, I cannot say it would assist you with your fibroids.
But you can.
But what I could say, that there is 3 compounds. And if the fibroid is what we see is a tumor, a small tumor, there are 3 compounds in the plant that actually kills and get rid of tumors. And I tell a lady, I say, try it. You could research those compounds yourself, and if you feel comfortable, you buy a pack and tell me, because I need to know what, you know, what is your experience.
For me, during my cycle, I have a lot of cramps and pain, and it's terrible.
Yeah.
Even sometimes it comes with headache. So you know, I suffer from migraine.
Okay.
So it's a lot. So somebody just said, well, our person who was supposed to be here just said to tell him about it and discuss it a little bit to see if that's something that I probably can try for myself.
Yeah, because one of my daughter have migraine and she use it. So it's really good with pain. And there's a Rastaman, he have a vegetable place in the park in this old cinema in St. George's. and he daughter, he's the one that shared that first experience. You see, his daughter used it for her period cramps, and he always buy.
Okay.
And then when I go inside there, then I met Junior Murray, and then he advertised and encouraged his customers to buy the tea.
Okay.
And everybody have something good
So
to say.
on your trip to next Thursday, you have to bring me.
Well, I
some
will give
tea.
you a sample. I have a sample pouch in my bag, so I'll give you a sample.
Nice. Nice.
So,
and interestingly enough, that might just work out.
Yeah.
Because it's around that time. Anyways, that's my personal business. Moving on.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the benefits.
Yeah. So those are. I would say that really, when I look back at the historical texts and look now at, I enjoy listening to people's testimony. It really it's amazing, basically, and I want to know, what my next step research is to do it not using the traditional knowledge and do it so it could become like a placebo now.
Okay.
And see what result I would get from the people and their testimony and what you would say. So then I would confirm definitely the traditional method is what and how it has to be continuously produced to get those high percentage of result. So on the scientific side, we look at those compounds and we say basically that plant is the tree of life.
As opposed to the regular tree of life.
And so I wouldn't say like confirm. I'll say, well,
it does X, Y, and Z. You go based off of what your knowledge is about it.
Yeah.
Based on what person's complaints are, you have them do their research and say, hey, these are the things that are there.
Try it, and see a result. But everybody that use it tell me it detoxes them.
Okay.
So they get that detox first and foremost. Like you have a gentleman, he tell me, he said, boy. Well, his wife got the first experience as to the change in his body performance. And he was really excited. But he told me he would have had that detox, and thereafter, like his body regulate and he continues it and he get that special energy. But then when I listen to his experience and I look at the relationship with some of the compound on the body, then you understand why those occurrences would take place. Because one of the compound in the plant is also a booster to testosterone and energy at the same time. So those relationships with the body and the receptors that they affect in the body, you could see why and how you have so much wide range of benefit coming from the plant, basically.
Okay, nice. Dr. Antoine is back with us.
Yes, I was told I need to get
much, and it's much better.
Thank you. Really important things we probably need to be aware of is the fact that we are traditionally, or people will be familiar with a particular plant associated with its use and its effect on specific ailments. And so over the years, it's become traditional medicine for A or B or C. What science has established over the years is the fact that generally these plants will have more than just one component that would have medicinal benefits. And frequently you will find that in pursuit of or in study of particular one compound, scientists will discover 2 or 3 or 4, sometimes 5 additional compounds that have other medicinal benefits, which is what I think Dalton is explaining there. So yes, there would be some scientific knowledge and basis upon which those anecdotal testimonies are demonstrated. So it also highlights another reason why people here in the Caribbean, we need to more aggressively investigate, research our traditional products and seek ways, and as Dalton is doing, to obtain some kind of benefits from them. And we have been lacking and slow in dealing with issues like that. And the best example I can give you, Dalton, is the fact that we in the Caribbean knew that the marijuana glaucoma benefits, anti-glaucoma benefits, way back in the 1970s. And yet today, in the 21st century, we're not even able to make best use of the monetary potential marijuana has, while the developed countries have smarted us and are benefiting billions of dollars annually in the coffers. So another reason why we need to aggressively pursue your project in Dalton and seek as much scientific minds, and intellectual and political and legal assistance to get things moving forward.
Definitely.
Okay. What are some of the risks of people, let's say, experimenting with the cohoba without the proper cultural understanding or guidance?
Like just last week, I met a gentleman. He bought a pack.
Okay.
He carried home a pack of tea, right? And he carried home, and his wife maybe would have gone on the internet and read up on cohoba, hallucinating, and the psychoactive. So he didn't drink the tea. So, and as I tell people, yes, those are the negative things that they have on the cohoba, because it is written based on the historical text of the perspective of the European.
Mm-hmm.
But in science, and science would tell you that there is a special enzyme in your bloodstream that if, let's say, the cohoba compounds have the psychoactive compound, that specific enzyme in your body defeats those psychedelic compounds. So you would never be able to have a psychoactive effect by drinking the cohoba tea.
Okay.
And matter of fact, the cohoba tea is made from the cohoba leaves.
Right.
So those psychoactive compound is not even in the
leaf.
The leaf.
Okay.
And one of the compound in the leaf that I don't even have it on the thing is important compound, very, very important compound, and they're looking to replace it with a lot of current medicine that now is on the market. So the psychoactive compound is what you may have risks with, right? As it relates to how you take it, and you have to be like I remember the first time I've done the psychoactive part with this gentleman, and I had a doctor with me.
Okay.
In case of
safety
anything.
purposes.
Safety purposes.
Okay.
But then again, there is the microdosing aspect of those things. So in everything there is limitation. So those are the aspects that you and in the traditional settings you have it's therapy, so you have to go through the performance of the therapy.
Okay.
Basically, if you doing it to yourself, and the abuse if you want to abuse yourself, then you may have. There is always a risk and danger in abuse of overindulgence of things, basically.
True.
Yeah.
True.
So moderation, and you do things in professional manner with the limitation.
The psychotic part is not in the leaf.
No.
Which part is it?
It's in the back, the pods and the seeds.
The back, the pods and the seeds. Okay.
Yeah.
So we need to stick to the leaves because we're not well versed in that.
No, and then even though
that
let's say
aspect.
even though you drink any other aspect of the plant. It's you cannot be. In order to do that, the traditional, you must have a solvent added to those to activate those compounds.
Right.
And then the body have that enzyme that prevent those. That is why it was do like a snuff, because once it goes into your bloodstream, that enzyme would defeats it.
Okay.
So it would never be psychoactive.
So if you're saying that, how do the users of the product obtain the benefits that they claim?
Well, now let's say you process DMT. Now there is, when you prescribe a DMT compound, then there is method how to use the DMT compound so that would be beneficial. Like if I could, there is a plant, and traditionally I know of the plant, that if I add that plant to those compounds, I could make the tea psychoactive, because that particular plant deals with that particular enzyme that would prevent the body from allowing the psychoactive part to be into your bloodstream. And imagine our ancestors know all these things 1,000 years ago. And science now catching up to those things. So let's say they extract the DMT from the compound and make DMT crystals. There is methods of taking those DMT. The doctor who is prescribing that medicine have ways and prescribe it, and how they prescribe it. Not prescribe it, but how they administer it to you, so that you would have that effect. And the traditional method, because they add a particular substance to it, and they do it as a snuff, and it goes directly blow into your nostril. That compound is what activates the psychoactive compounds in it. So the method of use and the compounds that is added to as those carrier is what is very important,
Okay.
So do you have specific recommendation as regards how the product can be used? And then while you have the tea package, can I beg you personally?
You're still breaking up
again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm saying you probably would have specific recommendations as to how to use your product. But I am personally begging for a package of the tea and some of the authentic original raw material for my personal purpose. Investigating or otherwise. So how do I get it? When do I get it?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow is worker day. And
you're going to Carrico tomorrow?
Having said so, let me just wish all of our workers here in Grenada and the rest of the Caribbean happy International Workers' Day.
Yeah.
Let us continue to show international workers solidarity. And I hope over the years ahead of us, we can in reality demonstrate that solidarity in real terms. And a classical case of solidarity is currently our need to provide solidarity and support for our brothers and sisters in Cuba, as well as Haiti. So I would say, long live the people of the world and Caribbean. Viva.
Viva.
Happy International Workers' Day to all of us.
Yeah.
So
you're going to Carrico and tomorrow?
No, I won't be able to make Carrico tomorrow because I have some priority and tasks to accomplish here in terms of some servicing of equipment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, if I might be visiting my brother's farm up on your area.
You're welcome.
So if I do, I'll pass in.
I look forward to that.
Yeah.
Make sure you bring those products, please, thanks. Any failure
But you had a packet before, you know, so you didn't even give me a testimony, you know.
Packet finished. We expect.
So I use a
So I'm begging again.
a second use customer. All right. Good.
Well, we need to get your testimony before we provide a second pack.
There are some things I cannot publicly state.
Okay.
Some of the testimonies I'm sure will be accurate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Understandable.
I don't know what kind of questions we have from our people there, but a more general statement I would like to make here is the fact that Dalton's case is a good working case for us. But imagine for every of and each of our traditional medicinal plants here in Grenada. Each plant, in essence, represents one potential aspect of Grenada specifically, and probably the Caribbean in general. Developing chemical industry. And that's something we've been feeling at year after year after year. And as I mentioned earlier on, our best example of our failure in that area has been the fact that we are not we do not benefit most from the marijuana, which originally we in the Caribbean have been using for decades for various reasons, including the fact that we found out it had anti-glaucoma effects. So my appeal there is for the planners of the state and economic development to take seriously into consideration Dalton's project in the first instance, but also to consider the fact that our chemical industry here in Grenada specifically is trapped in our plants. And as a people, we are failing the best use of it. I hope Dalton's project would highlight and demonstrate a path forward. But overall, we need to support and complement the project with the tremendous range of other potential projects that we can develop from our other traditional known plants here in the Caribbean, including those plants that you're probably not familiar with. Because I'm quite sure there are plants there in our environment that have unique, if not significant, medicinal and other benefits. And by that I mean they could probably use areas like cosmetics development, skincare, as well as fragrances, or even flavors. And so potentially we sit as Dalton Society on a multi-billion-dollar chemical industry potential here in Grenada. But being the people we are too risk averse, and we are not daring enough to put our money where our mouths are. But I am appealing to the powers that be out there. Here is a great opportunity for us to really, as you say, grab the bull by its horn, work with Dalton to make the best use of that specific project, but then to complement that with the other potential projects we have that remain latent here in Grenada. I don't know how we continue advocating on behalf of our people for those projects, but I'll try my utmost to highlight and raise and advocate the need for us to focus on developing our chemical industry based on the plant resources we have here in Grenada.
Yeah. Well, if you look at the creation of the botanical garden in St. Vincent, as a result, matter of fact, the underlying factor that Young and Anderson would have given, Young particularly, Anderson was the first curator. Young said that for the wellness and benefit of his soldiers, all medicine, all plant, they created the botanical garden as a propagating station to preserve and protect medicinal plants for the benefit and wellness of his soldiers. He wanted his soldiers to be always healthy. And as a result of that, that is where they took the knowledge from our ancestors, they preserve it, and only last about a year or two ago, they would have just opened up the archive for Vincentian to come and get the information that they took centuries ago on the health benefit of those plants that they took traditionally from the elders at the time and created that botanical garden. That is the oldest botanical garden in our hemisphere to today. And as a result of medicine. So if we look at that history, we'd understand how important our plants are and what we could take our plants and use to the benefit medicinally throughout our region and the world, basically. So we have the historical facts and evidence that we could build on, you know. But as you see, we are not risk takers. So here lies the problem.
Is the botanical garden St. Vincent is accessible to anyone on trip, right?
Yeah, well, the botanical garden is there. I mean, it's not as its former self in terms of all what Young and them would have done and created and planted with all the spices. And remember, the spices came to that botanical garden before they distributed throughout the region. Grenada became Isle of Spice, but they first brought it to St. Vincent, had it in the botanical garden, because the botanical garden was really a propagating station. You know, so, and they understand the relationship with spice and health.
We used to have botanical gardens here in Grenada.
Yeah.
You may recall that.
Of course.
Whatever became not just a garden, we had a zoo.
Yeah.
Whatever became of the zoo and the garden, given the fact that the garden relating to plants and the zoo relating to animals, they potentially can inspire our young people, children specifically, in developing an interest in a range of scientific career paths, including, for example, botany, including zoology, including specific veterinary sciences, including post-harvesting technologies or the range of stuff there, including specialization in various aspects of plants, agronomy, or animal husbandry. Wouldn't you advocate also, and I guess I'm a bit too greedy here, but wouldn't you also advocate for the restoration of a national botanical gardens in Grenada?
Sure. And part of the legislation, they should have a seed bank. And in order to have a seed bank, I think part of that preservation should be a botanical garden on that, in that aspect of it, you know. Because there is the traditional way of seed banking, and we may not have the finance like how they have those big international seed banks where you have those vaults and you have all those seeds stored in there. But a botanical garden could be a form of that seed banking and preservation of all our seeds and of all of our natural plants, you know, in preserving it and having the whole history and the whole scientific information on the plant.
Yeah,
it should and it must be a priority in preserving our rich natural heritage.
The question is, but never understood why we lost the botanical gardens and food. And I know if we try to do things, there might be a lot of international resistance. Because it seems to be too many of the things we do here in Grenada are dictated to us from outside. And so, in essence, to a great extent, we seem not to have that degree of sovereignty that you and I think are associated with being independent. But being that as it is, I see no reason why our political policymakers should not embark on reinstating and building a national botanical gardens, a national zoo put together. But here is another one. We do not have a national library. 15, 16 years. You tell me what's going on. What interest do we have in education? So while I'm advocating for developing our chemical industry based on the latent material, and while I'm advocating for botanical gardens and schools, I'm not sure we get too far in the absence of a national library where people like myself and students, for example, can literally open on a daily basis and do research. Or just reading. But by God, if people without a national library do a whole lot of behind, and it's sad to think that after 15, 16 years, we've not been able to mobilize resources to renovate or what's supposed to be a national library. Far less to have regional divisions of the national library. Look at the state of our national museum. So I don't know where we're going when it comes to the issue of education and encouraging our people to learn and providing the best potential for social and economic development of our people. Long-term sustainable jobs creation that could occur from a chemical industry in Grenada. But I think we have to begin the advocacy necessary for those things. Hopefully, our representatives, one way or the other, will respond to us. But here is the problem. There is not a built-in mechanism or a known mechanism to ensure and guarantee there is some mechanism for our people to lay out our concerns, our problems, our needs to our so-called representatives, who we see only every 5 years. And we never have a chance to interact with them on a regular monthly basis. And if we see them, the whole process is that, oh, we come to beg. So we are begging people, as opposed to our learning people, or our people wanting to work. But you know, we have some serious structural issues that need to be addressed. Ultimately, we want to respond to the ideas of Dalton's project, for example, and all the complementary potential projects evolve from making better use of our plant materials. I don't know if you have a compliment that, Dalton or this material. I know it's a little bit bumpy, but I think we're at a stage where we need to be able to demand better from our leaders, because there's no reason why students coming from school on evenings, afternoons, cannot literally pop into the library and do some reading or research. There's no reason why somebody like myself cannot pop into the library and do some investigative work or reading or history. And by the way, the people who do not know history, as Bob Marley says, don't know where they're coming from, and therefore won't know where in the dickens we're heading. And I hope the current situation we have is not indicative of
just recent when I was in St. Vincent, the Bush Tea Festival is put on by the National Library and Archive, and well, normally when I'm in St. Vincent, I would go to the archive and sometimes spend an entire day reading and researching, and in the library, the population that in and out of the library is huge. And during the exhibition that I took part in with the Koba, the library effort is to educate the population on all the traditional plants and its usage, and they was really excited to have had the Koba this year in the exhibition. And they have the festival coming up in October where they want me to do a presentation. Well, I did presentation to students because other students would have visited the exhibition. So they had me do basically lecture to those students, and that is where the culture in the minds, and everybody came and the research into those plants was huge, basically. It was a really exciting event. So, and it was put on by the library and the National Archiving Department, basically. So yeah, we do need a library to help educate the process, and it's important. Education is very, very important, because we will have something, and because you don't know of it, you don't know the importance of it, it becomes trash to you. But once you have the knowledge and you understand how important these things are, then it becomes valuable. Like a guy asked me, he said, Dalton, you have so much of valuable things, how you protect them? But ignorance around you, is a protection right there.
Well, there is an additional factor I should probably mention of factors. So, if we have so many and wide range of traditionally known medicinal plants, here is where, if we had or have a serious agricultural college instead of the shadow we have in Europe, it would assist significantly in helping to understand the cultivation of some of those traditional medicinal crops, including the gathering of better scientific information on dental rediscovery, right?
Yeah.
So again, here lies the importance of not just a library, not just a botanical garden and probably a zoo, but also importance of an agricultural college. No, I'm still trying to understand why the little thing we have in America is so latent. We used to have people coming from Dominica, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and our own people attending that college when it was originally formed and was growing. And we let it dwindle to nothing. See, here is why I'm saying our political leaders in the Caribbean have over the years literally dug out the foundation from our societies, foundation which they've been building on. Like I said, nobody sensibly enough would build a house and then turn around and remove the foundation. And that's exactly what we're doing. So we don't have a national. We don't have a functioning agricultural college. We do not have a functioning, or we do not have a. Our educational programs are designed to stupefy us, whereby a student interested in science, for example, cannot get all the science subjects he or she is interested in our secondary schools because of some stupid program that says you have to have 12 and 14 and 16 subjects. Gross what you want to use? Stupidity. But we need to revamp our educational system so as to make our people curious and interested in what this was. We don't know our history, how else would we know it if we don't go to the library? How else would we know it if we have good teachers knowledgeable in our history? How else would we know the value of our traditional medicinal plants if we don't have the agronomic information on those plants? We don't know how to cultivate and encourage. And if on top of all that, if you think things are so bad here, many of the traditional plants are now disappearing. We're losing them. How do we preserve the germplasms of those plants? No program. No program. And we don't have
that is where the botanical garden comes in.
Precisely.
Yeah.
As well as the agricultural college,
Yeah.
as well as a national plan for economic development, as well as our national library, as which will also facilitate exchange of information between the libraries of Grenada, Dominica, Barbados, etc. So, what are we doing to our people? No, we absorb with peripheral, I describe them. Things that do not affect the mass of people, the basic interests and well-being and welfare for the mass of people, like a better, higher quality education, programs that show long-term, sustainable, good quality jobs for people, programs that show we have high quality economic program for development of our society. Where are we going? What are we doing to our people? What is becoming of our society? And every day you hear about nonsense related to corruption here, corruption there, people doing things that has nothing to do with the overall for the mass and masses of our people. And apparently, it's not just here in Grenada, it seems to be a regional problem. People, we need to wake up. We need to wake up and demand the better from our policymakers, our politicians, and we ourselves have to wake up and do play our part to make sure that our society moves forward. We can no longer be silent and not talk about the things we need to get going. That's my short point. Sorry.
Thank you. Dalton, some final words from you?
Yeah, our germplasm is very, very important. And you see, the problem that lies in everything, capitalism. And you see, when you have to create capital, you have to own that particular product. And in owning that particular product, that is where the war begins, and everybody want to own that particular whatever product. And in doing that, you either destroy what else around you, so you alone be the source. And that is where the war, in the open and in the hidden doors are, in creating all our problems. And I can remember when the medical marijuana industry started in St. Vincent, and one of the leading guys, Seedman, came, and he was saying that we have enough germplasm to create all our seeds in St. Vincent. And there was a difficulty in finding the land raised St. Vincent strain. But I knew of local people here in Grenada that Grenada was a difficult place to go with, Nobody would go with successfully over a period of time. But I know of this one gentleman that been growing with since in the 70s, and that particular strain. So I went and got some seeds from him, and that seeds was actually part of the indigenous Vinci weed, Vinci strain, you know. So a lot of people may individually protect a particular plant for centuries, for a long, long time, and we have to find those individuals and recreate our germplasm and recreate our botanical garden that will preserve that uniqueness of our, because we have so much of microclimate that protects our germplasm in some unique ways and unique forms. So we need to do a lot of work, both scientifically, educationally, and culturally, so that, and that is where the history comes in, basically. It's an uphill task, but it's a doable task, basically. That's what I have to say.
All right.
And we cannot remain silent about those things.
Not at all. We have to speak it. So once we speak it, people, you know, start getting curious.
We also have to get people to respond to the demands of the interests and well-being, welfare of the mass of our people. Can't just be focused on a few individuals.
Yeah.
Well, interesting conversation today, guys. Thank you so much for coming on and being a part of the discussion this Thursday, Agriculture Thursday. Next week, I'm hoping to have you guys back once again, and we'll probably take a look into the marijuana aspect of things, you know. I see Dr. Antoine opening his eyes and everything. So
well, you've been talking about the glaucoma effect.
Yes. So let's be prepared, and we'll have a nice little discussion, just as we did with the Koba. And you know, we probably can reference the two. Yeah. So thank you guys so much for coming on. It was a really good conversation this morning. And as we know, of course, tomorrow is a holiday. So we would not be here tomorrow, God's will, but we hope to see you guys back on Monday. So
okay.
Once again, thank you guys, and have a great long weekend, I should say.
Thank you. And I would say, hope the listening public enjoy the long weekend, and blessings to everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I wish everybody have a safe International Workers' Day end holiday period.
Yes.
Safety first, productivity, and joy.
Yes.
Have fun.
Definitely.
So looking forward to see you tomorrow, Doc.
Lady, get ready for a day of gratitude, great food, and family fun. You are warmly invited to join the Holy Innocents Annual Harvest Festival on Sunday, May 3rd, 2026 at the Rectory Grounds in Ledig. The day begins with Holy Mass at 7:30 a.m., a special time to give thanks for the harvest and the